Hello class. So we start our part 2 of constitutional design civics chapter 3. So I am just recapping the policy of apartheid. Apartheid means racial discrimination on the basis of race and skin color. We have seen how South African people faced the problem, how whites treated them. They were not allowed to go in the same train, don't travel in the same buses, even they were not allowed to use the same swimming pools, no theater same, no worship churches same. Everything was happening in a manner as they were slaves. And then how the African National Congress started in 1910 with the aim of non-democratic, then got banned, and then again it came into action. So, as the end of the policy of apartheid, negotiations between African National Congress and South African government started for framing a new constitution which would give all South Africans the right to vote. According to the African National Congress, what did they want? They wanted a proper new constitution along with the South African government where each and every citizen in that country should be given equal value, equal treatment, right to vote. As a citizen, everyone above the age of 18 is having the right to vote. So nobody can stop them. So that right should be there within everyone. So in April 1994, elections were held in South Africa as per the new provisions. As per the new provisions means the dark skinned, the colors, everyone got the right to vote whoever were the citizens of South Africa. The African National Congress won with a thumping majority and formed a non-racial democratic government. Finally, at the midnight of 26th April 1994, the new national flag of the Republic of South Africa was unfurled, making the newly born democracy in the world. So at last, after the election, the African National Congress won. And what was their main aim when they established this in 1910? Was to form a non-racial democratic government. And they started working for it because now they were the winners. So now they can make a proper new constitution as South African government. So at the midnight of 26th April 1994, a new national flag was unfurled, and then there was a newborn of democracy in the world in South Africa. Now, towards the new constitution, the party that ruled through oppression and the party that led the freedom struggle sat together to draw up a constitution. That means they were not in the point to take any revenge against the whites. They decided whites, skin color, whatever, everyone, the citizen is now treated as equal under the African National Congress. So whichever party was in oppression, whichever party was in freedom struggle, not taking anything into consideration, everyone sat together to draw up a proper constitution where racial discrimination will be not there. No revenge will be taken to anybody. Whites should not be afraid that, okay, now this African National Congress have been in power. Then now whatever bad things we have done to them, they are going to repeat the same. Are they going to write no whites enter here from new trains and buses where no whites will be allowed? No, they were wrong. The African National Congress, as they decided, they sat together for a constitution where white as well as non-whites were sitting together. It gave to its citizens the most extensive rights available in any country. The constitution makes it clear that in the search for a solution to the problems, nobody should be excluded. No one should be treated as a demo. Everyone should become part of the solution, whatever they might have done or represented in the past. Whatever the whites have done, whatever the whites have represented them in the past, nothing was taken into consideration. Only one thing was there in the mind of the African National Congress as a South African government. They want peace. They don't want any kind of apartheid policy going on in their country anymore. A remarkable constitution was made where they forgot past sufferings, sought cooperation of all the races, which makes South Africa based on equality, democratic values, and social justice. A proper, remarkable constitution was made. Past sufferings were forgotten. Whatever things happened with them, which was in a bad courts, everything was forgotten. Now they wanted a proper equality, democratic value, and social justice in South Africa to each and every person living in that country. Due to participation in the movement against apartheid, he, who, Nelson Mandela, was sentenced to life imprisonment in 1964. He spent the next 28 years in prison. Because he has taken participation in the movement against apartheid, he was sentenced to life imprisonment in 1964. He had to spend 28 years in prison, but he was paid for his hard work. In the 90s, due to activities of the African National Congress and the support it got from other countries of the world, South African regime was completely isolated from the world. In order to create a favorable atmosphere, Nelson Mandela was released in 1990. He was released from the jail, and then in 1994, the first democratic elections were held, and Nelson Mandela was elected as the president of South Africa. So whatever hard work he has done, the movement protest against apartheid, the years that he spent in jail, everything was taken back from him, and he was given the position of President of South Africa, the first democratic election where he was elected as the President of South Africa. Now, the question here, actually, why do we need a constitution? If there is no constitution in a country, what is going to happen? A constitution of a country is a set of written rules that are accepted by all people living together in a country. Constitution is the supreme law that determines the relationship among people living in a territory, and they are called as citizens. And also the relationship between the people and government. A constitution does many things. Why do we actually need a constitution? Because it is bringing a proper systematic rule in a country where everything is written, what a government should do, what citizens should do, what are the responsibilities. Everything is mentioned properly in a constitution. That's why as a democratic country, we should be having a proper constitution where proper rules and regulations should be there, which is for the well-being of the citizens living in that country. That's why we need a constitution. Constitution generates a degree of trust and coordination that is necessary for different kind of people to live together. It specifies how the government will be constituted, who will have power to take which decisions. It lays down limits on the parts of the government and tells us what the rights of the citizens are. It expresses the aspirations of the people about creating a good society. Why do we need a constitution? Because a constitution of a country is setting a written rules that will be accepted by all the people living in that country, because they are known as citizens altogether. And there should be a proper relationship between people and government. They are specially mentioning different kind of people are living together, so there should be proper trust and coordination between them. If something bad happens with a person, he should be able to believe in the justice what is there in our country. He is having a faith that yes, this thing has happened with me which is wrong, I will get justice from the court, and the court is there, they are going to see the things, they are going to learn the case, whoever is the culprit, they will be given punishment, who is innocent, they will be saved. So why this all came? Because of the rules and regulations which is mentioned in our constitution. We should believe our constitution, because the rules and regulations there is always for the well-being of the citizen. And it also specifies that how the government will work, what are the parts, who will take which decision. Everything is mentioned in the constitution. They have also mentioned the limits on the parts of government. It's not that you are the government, you are the elected leader, so you can do anything as per your wish. You can harm the people for money. You can do anything for your prosperity. That is not there. As a constitution, as a democracy, as everyone is having equal value, equal vote, equal treatment, equality, government should not think anything for their own greed. They are having limits of powers. According to that, only they have to work. That's why we are having our three pillars of our constitution, as judiciary is there, legislative is there, executive is there. Legislative, those who are making the laws. Executive, those are executing it. Judiciary, if any problem arises in this law, if any people are facing the problem, judiciary will see to it that who is in mistake. Is the government wrong or is the public? So whatever the problems is there, the judiciary is there to solve your matter, and all these things are done, because then only we can create a good society. We can develop properly. Now, reality. All countries that have constitutions are not necessarily democratic, but all countries that are democratic will have constitutions. Yeah, it's real. That means whichever country that have constitutions, not necessary that is a democratic country, because the constitution may have such type of rules and regulations which is in the willingness of the people over there, the leaders, not the citizens. The leaders who are there, according to them, they have written the constitution. Then that is not a democratic country. But if it is a democratic country, then they are for sure going to have a proper constitution. After the War of Independence against Great Britain, the Americans gave themselves a constitution. After the revolution, the French people approved a democratic constitution. Since then, it has become a practice in all democracies to have a written constitution. What is the meaning of this point? That means slowly, as South Africa made their constitution, Americans, after their war of independence with Great Britain, they also made their constitution. French people, you know about French Revolution, which we have learned. French people, after their revolution, they also got an approved democratic constitution. And slowly, each and every country, India and all, they also started getting their constitution done. It became a practice that if you are a democratic country, you have to write down proper written constitution, which are having proper rules and regulations for the government as well as the people, the citizens over there, so that they can live a happy, equal, treatment, freedom life. Do we need a constitution? Yes. Every country drafts its own constitution. A constitution of a nation is a set of written laws accepted by people living together in a country. Yes, of course, all together crores of people cannot go together and sit and write the constitution. For that, some people are selected. What they do is, whenever they are sitting there to draft the constitution, they have one thing in their mind, that we are writing it for the people. It should be according to the willingness of the people. It should not be harming the people. So whichever constitution was made, maybe South African, American, French, India, whichever, whatever people have sat together to make the constitution, they always kept in mind that this is for the public. So the constitution rules and regulations should be in such a way that they are not harming anyone. It generates trust and coordination. Yes, of course. When constitution is there, it creates trust in it. Yeah, as I told you earlier, when anything wrong happens with us, we are having trust on the judiciary. Yes, if I will file a case, if I will go for this, the court will be giving me proper justice. That trust should be there. Coordination should be there. It specifies how a government should be constituted. So each and everything is compulsory. That's why we need a constitution. It also lays down limits on the parts of the government. It's not that you have elected a leader, he is a part of the government now and he is having unlimited powers. Whatever he can do, let him do. No. Constitution also lays down limits on the parts of the government. It expresses the aspirations of the people about creating a good society. Now, making of Indian constitutions, circumstances under which the Indian constitution was drawn. Now till here we have seen the accredited policy, the South African constitution and all. Now we are going to look after how did our Indian constitution came into establishment. How was it drawn? The making of the constitution for a huge and diverse country like India was not an easy affair. Because as soon as we got our independence, there were lots and lots of people problems. Why? Because partition took place. Because of that, lots of violence were there. So many refugees without food, no shelter, no occupation. So many people went there, so many entered in their life. Lots and lots of problems. Right? And as a democratic country, it was compulsory for our country to write a proper constitution. So making the constitution for a huge and diverse country like India, that was not an easy affair. We have to go through so many points when we are doing so. The people of India were emerging from the status of subjects to that of citizens. What is the meaning of status of subjects? That means before that we were having this monarchy rules and all. Kings were there. Britishers came. They were also there supporting with the king. Some kings they were supporting Britishers. Yes, you can do anything in India. You can harm the people. You can take their king. Whatever you want to do, you can do it. Just give us all type of luxuries. That was the mentality of some of the kings. That's why Britishers who just came for trading, they started ruling our country. So from the status of subjects, right? From the status of subjects, we have emerged into citizens. We have got our independence. We have become a democratic country. The country was born through a partition on the basis of religious differences. At least 10 lakh people were killed on both sides of the border in partition related violence. Some people don't want to go. For them, the borders from Pakistan and all, they were just telling them, you just come here, this is a Muslim oriented country, we are not going to stay in India, you just come into Pakistan. But some people were not ready to do so because they loved their own country from their ancestors, their childhood, they were in that country. So they don't want to go. So those who were refusing, they were being killed by the people. Right. So at least 10 lakh people were killed on both the sides of the border because of this partition related violence. The British had left it to the rulers of the princely states to decide whether they wanted to merge with India or with Pakistan or remain independent. The merger of these princely states was difficult and uncertain task. And the Britishers left. What did they do? They asked the rulers of princely states that it is their own wish what they want to do. When the partition is happening, do they want to merge with India? Do they want to merge with Pakistan? Or they have to remain an independent country in a country? Right? So that was the thing what the Britishers have done. And merging of this princely state was very much difficult. Example. Other states, all other princely states, they joined the Indian constitution. Jammu Kashmir and Hyderabad. These were the two princely states which were not ready to come into the constitution of India. They wanted to be an independent state, right? So now what happened is Pakistan, what did they do? They started taking some space in Jammu and Kashmir. They started invading the places. Jammu Kashmir king start running, coming into our Indian government, ask for help. What did the Indian government do? You just merge in our country. We will help you out. Jammu Kashmir merged and we helped them to take back all the states, all the places, whatever was invaded by Pakistan. Same with Hyderabad. The king there was an Mughal. What did he do? He left the throne and he ran away to Pakistan. But there still it was independent. The princely state was independent. It was not emerging into constitution. Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel reached to Hyderabad. He asked the people, he asked whoever was there on power to be a part of Constitution of India. And then they also came into our constitution. That's why from Jammu till Kanyakumari till Trivandrum we are having as our own country, as our Indian country. When the constitution was being written, the makers of the constitutions had anxieties about the present and the future of the country. That means while writing a constitution, they had lots of things to remember. That okay, what is the present condition? How we have to think of present condition? How we have to think about the future? And according to that only they can make a constitution. It should not happen that after making the constitution, people are facing the problem. Then that is a failure to the constitution. So when the people started writing for the constitution, there were lots of anxiety in them about the present and the future of the country. The path to constitution, from here we are going to learn in the next class. So I am doing a fast recap of what we have done today. We have seen why do we need a constitution. We have seen the reality that all countries that have constitution is not necessarily democratic, but all democratic countries will have to be having constitutions. Then we have seen that how slowly Americans, they brought their constitution, French people, they brought their constitutions, Indians, they also brought their constitutions. Then we have seen how the African National Congress and South Africa, how did they in 1994 they had an election, and how then Nelson Mandela got to be the first president of the election, president of South Africa after the election. Then why we need a constitution? Because proper rules and regulations are very much needed. There should be trust and coordination between the different kind of people living together. Parts of the government limitation is also given, so that proper creating a good society. We have seen Americans, French, Indians, they all started making their constitution. It became practice for everyone. We need constitution because it generates trust and coordination. It limits the power of the government. And then we have seen how the Indian constitution started coming up because of huge and diverse country. And as the people were having the partition problem and all, the makers of the constitution has to think very much properly, keeping in mind about the past and the future. That how whichever constitution they are making, it should be in such a way that the people are not going to get harmed in the future. So that's it for today's class. Thank you.